Good evening, friends of the pod. Here we are again, another August summer night in Hazleton. As you can see behind us, the moon has come out. It is another gorgeous end of summer. But Scott and I were just, Coach Sacco and I were just talking. There is a chill in the air. It started out at like 80 degrees today, and now I probably think it's pushing about 65.
Football season.
But we'll take this. You know how it is here in Hazleton. Quickly, again, welcome. I want to thank our sponsors for the season and for the evening before we get underway here with the coach. Our season sponsors, RL Marchetti, Plumbing and Heating. Our game week sponsor, brand new sponsor, Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House. We also have our player of the game feature now that the first game of the season has been finished. And that'll be a weekly feature we do here on the local sports pod. A player of the game, we're going to do that at the halfway point here in a little bit. Thanks to Barbush Auto and B&B Auto Sales, Route 940 in Hazleton. And also our On the Bench segment, which we had our guest last week. We have another guest planned this week, sponsored by Firo's Funeral Services Incorporated here in Hazleton as well. Again, thank you to all our sponsors. They help force what goes on with us from Meet the Cougars till the end of the season. And personal friends of mine as well. Couldn't do it without them. And so thankful to have them on board here at the local sports pod. Before we get underway with Scott, I just want to come out a little. As I mentioned, the sun is setting. That same sun back there is also going to rise tomorrow. Okay. It went down Friday night. Obviously, the results weren't what we had hoped, but I'm going to show you my shirt right here. A little pride, a little tradition, a little excellence, and a little spirit. That sun came up Saturday morning. Those four adjectives came into play. It came into play this afternoon and later this evening as the boys were downstairs watching game film. It's flushed. It's gone. It's to be forgotten. The efforts that were given by these young Cougars from this den back here were unreal. No matter what that score read, the effort, the teamwork, which there is no I in this group. And the only reason is because of the man standing next to me. We have to talk about what happened, but it's flushed. I bring in my good friend, our good friend. As always, great having him. Coach Scott Sacco, thank you so much. Here we are.
Try to channel my inner Belichick and just say we're on the Williamsport. But we are. But let's talk about Friday night. So, we went down to Nazareth. We were excited. We had Nazareth on our board the entire summer. Really, Nazareth was on our board in our locker room since March, and we had that circled. And we went down there, and we heard about Peyton Falzone. We heard about the quarterback. We heard what he was. And let's be honest, we went down with a young team. This is a young team. We have 3 returning starters on offense, and I think 3 on defense. So a lot of guys Friday night, it was their first time on a field. And to go against a Division I quarterback who was going to Auburn, it was tough. And we knew Dave Seaman interviewed me after the game, and he said to me, what did it feel like when they went in and they punched it in 2 plays on offense? I said, it didn't faze us at all because we knew that coming in. We knew coming in we were going to have to score with him. He was going to get his. There's very rare do you shut down a Division I kid, and especially a Division I quarterback. And he had other Division I athletes on the field with him.
You can't forget the running back.
The running back's going to Sacramento State.
Division III.
Division
I FCS. I'm sorry.
Well, now this year they're going up to Division I. Okay. They're going up to the Division I.
Right.
But that's the kind of talent that you want to play. I had people come up to me and say, "Oh man, why is Nazareth on your schedule? What? We want that competition. We want to have that spotlight. We want to be able to, because I'll be honest, we get into the playoffs. Those are teams that you're going to have to play in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So we want that. And this is what we said to our kids. I said this to him at halftime. I went in there. I said, I'm not going to lie. I could come in here and give you a rah-rah speech and say we're going to come back in the second half. It's not going to happen. We need to go out there and make sure we win the second half now and get better. A lot of us had wide eyes for the guys that it was their first time on the field. It was my first game coaching as the head coach. So a lot of us, there was a lot of learning curve that went along with it. We did some good stuff in the game. We had a chance on our second drive to score and do it. You know, we came out our first 2 possessions. We took the ball right off the bat because we knew we had the score. And our first 2 runs, 4 yards, 5 yards, it's 3rd and 1, and we need to get a yard, and we didn't get it. They stacked the box with a young team. They confused it. We went over it tonight in film, what our roles and responsibilities are to get it, and they stopped us. So we had the punt. 2 plays later, 81-yard touchdown. We knew that going in. We were ready. So it didn't phase us one bit. We get the ball back, drive down the field. We get down the field. We get down, I think we were within the 25 maybe. We go for it on 4th down. It's 4th and 5 because we knew we needed to score. And we went for it. Fortunately, we didn't get it. We had guys, but we didn't get it. But the plays were there to be made. And then it's boom, they get the ball back, score again. We get the ball, try to change it up, get a first down, do a couple little things, end up getting a penalty, kill the drive. We then got to punt it. 4 or 5 plays later, another touchdown. Before you know it, you blink your eyes, it's 20-0. And that's when everybody started to reel a little bit. And that's, you know, what we as a coaching staff were afraid of. We knew you can't let a guy like this get up on us and get our kids down, especially with a young team. And that's what happened. And it just snowballed from there. So we walked out of there on Friday night of Nazareth. We came out in the second half. We punched it in. We got a touchdown. That was our goal of what we wanted to do. And now we're on to Williamsport. And Nazareth's probably the best team that we will face all year. That's the best competition that we're going to see. That's the best quarterback for sure that we're going to see.
You're looking at a 6A school, but
a top tier. Like they have a very good shot this year of going very far.
I had mentioned to a few of my friends, it was almost like playing a Division III school, a Division III college team.
It was a very good team. They're well coached. Their coaching staff did a great job. You know, they just overall, they did a great job. But here's the thing, and this is what I told our players. Every game now, you already saw the top level.
Right.
You know what that is, and you competed with them. We just couldn't score with them. But we competed with them. We did some stuff right. We did some stuff wrong. We corrected tonight in film. But you should see this next Friday night, a Cougar team that is coming out, that is hungry, that is going to fight, that is not going to take a play off, and we're going to go 100%. And one thing I said today, I had a lot of people coming in the office and saying, you know, how does it feel? I said, listen, in a couple of years, if he makes it to the NFL, I'll feel a whole heck of a lot better about this, because then I could say that guy that's in the NFL, he crushed me on my first game, and you'll feel a whole heck of a lot better. Right now, it still stings. It's going to sting, and we're going to take it. But you take these lessons in life and you take them with you. And that is what needs to make you better as a person, make you better as a football player. Learn these things. That's life. And that's all that I'm here to do. I'm here to teach these kids, not just to win a football game, but get them ready for life. Yeah, because most of us are just we're going to work.
It's taken back to social media. I guess it was the morning after the afternoon, Saturday morning. And one of the first couple of quotes, actually on the Hazleton area football Facebook, was the L isn't for loss. And you just pretty much all put it into perspective, as I was going to mention. You took it before I had a chance, but many lessons. I mean, from what I listened to in the early part of the game and what I saw in highlights, ball movement was there. Again, against, not just a quarterback or a running back, a bunch of Division I, so to speak, recruits or commits. I didn't look into the exact numbers. and that drive in the second half, really showed that this team doesn't just have the potential, has the skill, of what they've been taught. And I think we're in for a bit of a wild ride, which we'll get into in the second half. But I just wanted to bring forth point the movement, and it's defense when you get caught off guard 2 plays and then 2 plays again, and you're not getting a whole lot of rest in between.
Well, and that was the thing. And then we're down 20-0, and I'll throw my brother under the bus, who's a baseball guy. He said, "Man, what was going on with the line? We were getting a lot of pressure in there. Like, you got to realize we're down 20-0. They know we're throwing the ball. They know we got to throw the ball, and they were all out blitzing us. And that's the thing. You can't run. You can't run against that. You could try to get outside, but they were getting us on the outside. We did have some success running the ball outside, but once we got to that point in the game, and it's, well, now you got to score points.
Right.
They know that they had us. And honestly, Coach Falzone, who's Peyton's dad, is the coach. He's coaching for 12 years, and with his son as his quarterback, they know how to play with a lead. And they know what to do, because a lot of games, they score a lot of points.
Well, obviously they have to run their offense. I mean, they can't, go up 20 or 21 or 28 and just shut down, with a good amount of time left. And that's nothing against our boys. You make a really good point there, but a lot of good things from players, again, that I had heard. I mean, Xavier came in and did a good job. Xavier Heck.
Yeah.
JJ.
Yeah.
JJ Lantigua.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Freddie got dumped pretty hard on that last one. One of the toughest kids that I know since he's in 8th grade, and we'll get into that whole situation a little bit. But JJ kind of led him on that drive as well.
Yeah.
And actually scored the touchdown.
Yeah, he did a great job stepping up in a role. I mean, there's a lot of good things on our film. We got a quarterback that's pretty darn good in Freddie Corrado, and he can get the ball down. He can get the ball downfield. We just got to give him some time to hit his wide receivers and get, we had guys open, but we just need to get him more time. But JJ Lantigua stepping up there and coming in, there's a lot of teams that don't have a backup. He is a heck of a backup to have. So, he's a player, and we get him on the field and we use him in multiple different positions that we can. So he's definitely a guy that we want to use, and we can't keep him hidden for long because people are going to start to learn his name. But we had some guys that really stepped up, and one of them I think we're going to bring on here in a minute.
Yeah. Again, we talked about just things found, throughout the game, maybe not so much while the game was going on, as well as, what you caught in film and when you had the chance. And I think this gentleman that we're going to bring on here in a couple seconds kind of solidifies that whole thing and describes the whole team game.
So it's not numbers that you'll see in the score box, but Connor Bacon did all of the things to hustle, and he had 2 blocked extra points, which most people they get a touchdown and you think, oh man, I'm going to take a break on this. And he almost blocked 4. 2 of the other ones he tipped, but 2 of them that he blocked, he was making plays on defense, whether it's coming from the other side and running down the field and making plays. And it just, it's a senior leadership that when you have a young team, that's what you need. And we used him as an example today in film. Like, that's how we need to play this week. We need 11 other Connor Bacons on the field, running around, doing everything and laying it out for what the team needs.
Right.
And that's why he's the player of the game for us this week.
Yep. As I had mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast, our new feature, we're going to bring him in here. Let's come right around. Connor. Our Barbush Automotive and BLB Auto Sales Player of the Game. Barbush Automotive Auto Sales located at Route 940 since 1937 at 1299 Hazel Township, 570-454-7571. Again, our Barbush Automotive and B&B Auto Sales player of the game, Connor Bacon. I'm going to quickly step out. Coach, if you want to talk a little bit more about Connor and where he's at right now in play, and I will grab the award.
So, I mean, Connor's our kind of do everything. Do you come off? You come off the field much? No. I mean, whether it's in at wide receiver, whether it's on special teams, whether it's on defense, starting at outside backer for us, wherever we need him, we put him. And the effort that he gives in and day out, we saw it in camp. We saw it all summer long, and it just showed on Friday night that he puts the effort. He puts the effort in and does not take a play off. He runs the ball hard. I think it was our Oklahoma drill that we did, and that's really where we the way that we did our Oklahoma drill is we had two linemen facing each other, two linebackers facing each other, and then two secondary, and they have a triangle to run in. And Connor ran the ball and broke 3 tackles in the middle of doing spin moves, stepping over people, and scored the ball. And from that moment forward, we knew that we had a dude right here.
Connor, congratulations.
Thank you.
What year are we in now?
Senior year.
Senior year. Way to start it, man. Way to start it. Your thoughts on those big plays Coach talked about? And we're going to flesh that one, obviously, the game itself, but a performance worthy. Your thoughts?
Thank you. It was a good game. It was a hard fought battle for the whole team. You know, we got down a little bit there, but we have to just push through and keep fighting throughout the entire game. It's just we can't stop. There's a lot of guys, they decided to get down, but you can't do that. We just got to keep pushing. Like this next week coming up, we will keep pushing. We will do better. We're going to prosper this year. I know it.
Awesome. Once again, the Barbush Automotive and BMP Auto Sales Player of the Game. Congratulations to Connor Bacon. One of 10 to come. We're going to give Connor and Coach, let Coach hydrate. Obviously, as I always say, I need it way more than he does. He's a doctor and I'm an idiot. So it's all good. It all works out. But let me quickly tell you once again about Barbush Auto and BLB Auto Sales, located at 1299 Route 940, Hazel Township, 570-454-7571 on the automotive side. Their motto, we do it all, just call, since 1937. And BLB Auto Sales, which is located right in the same complex as Barbush. Large variety of quality vehicles. You can check their stock and their inventory at barbushauto.com or call 570-861-8393. Again, big thanks to our good friend Brian Barbush, Barbush Automotive, BLB Auto Sales Player of the Game, and Connor Bacon for week 1 against Nazareth. I am going to have Coach reach around here as we make our way over to our On the Bench segment. And as I'm making my way over, we'll quickly tell you about our season sponsor. I'm sure there's probably going to be another story about him with this special guest we have planned. Big thanks to our season sponsor, RL Marchetti Plumbing and Heating. Good friend Randy Marchetti, serving the Hazleton area and surrounding for over 110 years. 570-455-7335. Quick, easy, and emergency service. I say this every week. The bathtub starts to leak on the 4th floor. I don't know if there's many bathrooms on the 4th floor, depending on what size you have, but within a considerable amount of time, with a phone call, Randy will be there. Perhaps you have needs for repair that you can schedule and it's not emergency. Just call the office again at 570-455-7335. Again, RL Marchetti Plumbing and Heating, serving the Hazleton area for over 110 years. As we make our way over to the bench for our guest of the week on the bench, quickly tell you about our game week sponsor, brand new one, staple here in Hazleton since 1992. We have Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House. That is located not far from where we are as we come to you live and every week from Harmon Geist Memorial Field. Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House located at 380 South Popular Street here in Hazleton, 570-455-7892. Neil and Renee Chirico, their family, the Chirico family. Dante now running the restaurant side of it. for the family has been a staple, as I said, for many, many years. Mentioned their specials this week. It is pick 2 or more. It is a mix and match, $11.50 each. Okay, and that includes cavatelli, Francesca pizza, ravioli, bone-in wings, large antipasto, stuffed shells, or a large pizza. So you can pick 2 or more of those certain items that I just mentioned, and pretty much make yourself a meal for like 23, 24 bucks. This ad, along with Alta's logo, is located on the right of your screen. That does list the food as I just described to you. Give them a call. Open till 10 almost every night. So maybe after we get off the air here, we may even involve ourselves in that. Once again, a big thanks to our game week sponsor, Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House, 380 South Popular Street. Please get up there and see the Chirico family. Please see Dante in the coming weeks. Hopefully, Dante's food truck, Dante's Inferno, is going to be out in the community. We'll get more information for you on that as well. But want to thank Dante and the rest of the Chirico family at Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House, 380 South Popular Street here in Hazleton. Please give them a call, place your order, or stop in for the special that I just mentioned on the $11.50 each on the mix and match. Again, you can catch what's on there on the graphics on the screen. So as we make our way over to the bench, our special guest has arrived. He's going to come in here, I think. Want to thank Farrell's Funeral Home. They are a special sponsor for our On the Bench segment. They've also jumped on for the season. So thanks to the owner, Jeff Farrell, and funeral director, Andy Piskel. They are located at 26 West 2nd Street here in Hazleton for all your family needs at that time that goes down. 570-454-1561. Funeral Services Incorporated, serving the Hazleton area since 1892. Our On the Bench sponsor for the rest of the season. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Put this little thing on here.
Yeah. Don't lose the top like I did last week. We searched the field for like 20 minutes. Then I ordered some from Amazon. That should do it.
All right.
Have a seat.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming.
I was a little bit of a rush down here, but I apologize.
For those of you who don't know, but I have to introduce him anyway. He is the voice of the Hazleton Area School District YouTube. Any sport that is handled, Paul is involved with. He's the lead man on the play-by-play. He's also a part of SportsWire, which if you're attached to those YouTube broadcasts, you'll know about it. But SportsWire, much like our guest last week handling all the home games, along with Paul handling all the home games this year, SportsWire is actually going to handle the audio cast for all Cougar away games this year, including last week's. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Sure.
Paul Bonomo is here joining
you
us.
can't give out my government name.
No, I don't want to do that.
They all think I'm Jeff. Everybody thinks I'm Jeff.
They still call me Bob. We won't go there. It's all our alter egos. It could be our government name.
Yeah, that's sure.
But Paul is also a well-known local and regional play-by-play guy, as well as just a general all-around host. As soon as I found out that his part in SportsWire was going to be doing the away games, along, like I said, Paul's been a staple on the school district YouTube broadcast for quite a few years. Give us a little bio, like when we were talking on the phone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it started back. I started doing games 2016, 2017. I mean, I always loved broadcasting. It was something I always wanted to do. And, I reached out to a few, how hard it is to get in anywhere. So I reached out to a few, local air stations and stuff like that. We're interested, but we're not interested. So I actually answered someone tagged me in a Facebook ad. Actually, Joe Rogers, a friend of mine from out in the Pittsburgh area, they were looking for broadcasters out in Williamsport. So he tagged me. Immediately, the guy called me. What's your background? What's your background? He said, and I told him, and he's like, do you want to come down for a tryout game? Hazleton is playing Williamsport basketball. I'm like, great. I'm like, sure. I'm from Hazleton. So I went down, tried it out. And, he's asking me what TV station I worked for, what radio station. I said none. My house, maybe my wife and kids are sick of listening to me. So right there, I, formed a relationship with them. And I started doing basketball with them. And Jim Webb and Webb Weekly, and Derek Rizzo, PA Sports Live, they were the first ones that gave me a chance, and from there, I did some football at Cortland, New York, the year that they won the state championship, or the Division III championship. I did some football for them. It was remote. I was doing it from my house, which was great. When they'd get in there, it was like an NCAA red zone. So I did that every time that they were in the red zone, and Cortland's good. So they're in the red zone a lot. So I got a lot of time there. So then I was contacted by Hazleton and Bobby Mahalik and my brother Chris, Bobby Krzansky, and they said, hey, we want to get you here for Hazleton. And I said, well, I'm already committed to Williamsport, but let's start with basketball. And we'll go from there, and we'll see how it works out. I'll split my schedule up. So I split my schedule up, and then, before you know it, he said, well, let's do football. And then, that's one thing became another. And, the Williamsport thing, I still help them out down there when I can. And last year, I also picked up Penn State. I do the Penn State basketball for Schuylkill, Penn State Schuylkill. So I do all their home games, girls and boys. All home.
One of the saves on the satellite campus situation.
So, they're one that are saved. Thank God is right. So I'm kind of busy with that, along with my real job. But I love it. I have a great time, and I love working with the people, especially in Hazleton. All the coaches, from every sport are so easy to get a hold of and accessible. Everyone has given me their cell phone number. Right. Send them a text message. You need something, boom, you have it. And it's not like that everywhere. People are spoiled here.
We spoke about that last week.
When you're dealing with some teams, and like up the road, I'm going to just say, you know what I mean? You're trying to get a roster.
Back down the road.
Or back down the road. I didn't deal too much down there.
Well.
But there's reasons. But when you're trying to get a roster for a football game, and you call an athletic director, and you can't get a hold of them, you leave a message, and you can't get a roster, I mean, that's very important, when you're out there and there's 60 kids that you're trying to pronounce names and you want to get stats. And, here with Rich Salonis, I hooked up with him when we were in Williamsport my last year, and, he came here with me. He's very meticulous. He's a former coach, 34 years. He coached South Williamsport, coached in 2 state championship games. So he's the coach mentality. He has everything written down, and we try to just mirror it and try to have a broadcast that what you'd see on ESPN2 or something like that, and try to rival it there. Cause I'm very particular also too. So I want to make sure we all do the best.
So you've been around this program since about 2015, I think we talked about the other day.
For football. Yeah. For Hazleton, I think this is our 4th year of football. We did 3 with Dennis and now with Scott here. And basketball, we might have did 4 because we started, I believe, in basketball. So, yeah, it's just there's a lot of athletes, and seeing a lot of these kids that I coached in Little League are now in high school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Makes us feel old.
It makes us feel real old. But just seeing them as they mature and like the athletes. Like I was telling Rich the other day. For Williamsport, there's a kid playing Giovanni White. He's their running back. He's their Swiss Army knife. He does everything.
Right.
He'll give us fits Friday night. You know what I mean? But it seems like he's been playing for 10 years.
That's because him that long.
He's been playing since he's a freshman.
Right.
Now I don't know if you're familiar with Williamsport down there, Pete White.
Right.
Basketball coach, legendary basketball coach. It's his grandson, Pete Jr.'s son. I think there's 4 boys.
Right.
And he's one of them. So they're still causing havoc all these years later.
To bet he probably hits the hardwood as well.
No, he doesn't play.
No.
Gio doesn't play basketball, I don't believe.
A white family member
Yeah,
that doesn't play
don't
basketball.
believe he plays basketball.
My goodness, that is
Yeah,
shocking.
but I mean, tremendous athlete. Great kid.
Obviously, they all were,
you
all four
know,
boys.
And Coach Pearson runs a great program down there, and Rich and him coach together at like homing. He knows Danny Dio real well. Just a super guy. You know what I mean? All around.
Paulie, just I know one game doesn't define a season, doesn't define a team, but being around this program, and obviously I'm not looking for a comparison, but things are fresh and brand new with Coach Sacco's regime. I mean, just give us your thoughts. I mean, again, they practically played a Division III college team.
I mean, you're playing.
It's a long season. There's 9 more games. We got a long way to go, and we've all agreed in our circle, and I'm sure in everybody else's circle that's close to the heart of this program, that it's not a definition of what's even to come.
No.
Just give us your thoughts, because Coach and I, coming down the sidelines, we talked about some good things.
Yeah, I mean, we called the game for SportsWire,
right,
and it was one of those games. You knew it was going to be a tough game to start the year.
Right.
You're playing a quarterback that's going to Auburn.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, he has
that's going to be now Division I FCS. So,
right.
I mean, it's
you're
crazy.
playing a quarterback that probably will be playing on Sundays if he keeps maturing at the pace he is.
Right.
So you're up against the clock. You're playing with house money. A lot of the mistakes that I saw and Rich saw are correctable. They're kids. It's a young team. You never get too high after a win, never get too low after a loss.
Right.
And it might be easier said than done than when you're up in the booth looking down. But I didn't see one kid quit out there.
No.
You know what I mean? And I know you talked to Connor Bacon. He blocked 2 extra points.
Right.
He was all over the field. I thought that I always say Josh Heck. I think of his dad, Xavier.
So I walk by him and meet the Cougars, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not. And he's like, that's my dad. And I'm like, I didn't put the affiliation.
And his dad be tremendous athlete.
But he's like bigger than his dad.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And but I mean, I thought he played a great game. I thought he really ran hard. Ashton obviously is still banged up.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's still a little bit hurt. Freddie, I mean, you talk about the heart of a lion. I mean, he picked himself off the turf every time. I mean, every time that I was saying it on the radio, I thought that was, he was. I mean, he got hit hard.
Yeah, and I caught a bit of the broadcast and what I had heard, from your angle.
I mean, he got hit really hard. He stood in the pocket. I thought he played good when he stepped up in the pocket. You know what I mean? I mean, he's young. He's an athlete. He got a cannon for an arm, and I mean, a few plays here and there. You don't know what could have happened when momentum, could change. But I mean, they were the better team on that night. It happens. You know what I mean? You're going to have games like I was telling Rich. Rich coached 34 years. I said, you're in the locker room. You're down, 38-0. What do you tell your kids? Keep fighting, one play at a time. There's no 38-point play, And no, I mean, I think the season, it's going to be like any other season. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. There's going to be good weeks. There's going to be bad weeks. It's a learning curve. But all your mistakes are correctable.
Like we talked a little bit earlier today, just a quick look. I know you did give us a little bit of insight to the Millionaires and what style of offense and players and such. But your thoughts on just the upcoming week here?
I think if we can get, I'll say we, because I'm Hazleton, so I just have to wear a Hazleton Williamsport shirt
he
down
asked
the
me
middle.
what the dress was. I'm like, just normal.
Should wear a jacket. It's freezing.
I know, right? We're big guys on us.
Yeah, we have a lot. That's what I was telling your daughter. She said she should have worn her sweatpants.
She just wants to wear them because she just got them. So,
but I think if we can have a good first quarter, stay in front of the chains, obviously stay out of those third and longs, and force Williamsport to play defense. Their defense isn't very good. They like a track meet. They want to score high. They want to run. They always did. That's the kind of athletes they have down there. But I think the more disciplined team, I think, will win the game. Because Williamsport's noted over the years, I've covered enough of their games, when things go bad, they get worse. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's that snowball effect. But I know their quarterback got hurt in summer basketball.
Okay.
So he was a really good athlete. He tore his ACL, I believe. So now they have another kid in a quarterback that's, he's not a pure passer. He had a couple of big plays, Geo White, of course.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was the one that really had a super game against, Valley West. But, I mean, they're going to throw the ball. They have athletes just like we do. It's a mirror image a lot of times of Hazleton's team because there are a lot of good athletes down there.
Mhm.
I think the more stay out of third and long, penalties. And I think we should be okay. And then you come home next week for your home opener against West Scranton, who, I mean, has struggled the last couple of years. I know they beat us 2 years ago, but they have a brand new quarterback.
Right.
So that always, and Cougars always play better at home. They shut down Wilkes-Barre last year. I believe Wilkes-Barre had a first down till like the end of the game. Like they just shut them down. And
That was,
Wilkes-Barre had a nice
I
team.
remember standing on these
Yeah.
sidelines, and I could not.
That was a
believe it.
dominant
I
performance.
had to keep asking Davey Seaman, did they move the ball past the 40?
I think they had one or two
one of
first
downs,
downs.
but I don't think that happened till
It was the end of the game. The game was already over.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
So you can catch Paul on the SportsWire broadcast
SportsWire, yep.
this coming week at Williamsport. I believe that's on the Facebook, right?
That'll be on Facebook. We'll have the link. It's on
Paul
SportsWire.
post the link on SportsWire as well as his Facebook. And all season long, catch the Cougars on the road with the audio cast. Paul, Rich, and I believe
Brian.
Brian,
Yep.
right?
VP, yep.
And of course, Paul and Rich on the Hazleton Area High School
YouTube channel. Yes,
YouTube. I have so
yeah.
many things going through my head on the
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
We'll be there. We're going to do, I believe we're going to do one JV game this year, they said. Probably the Williamsport game on Labor Day. That game there. We'll probably do that.
Coach and I actually just discussed about the games being on Labor Day. There's a bunch of games on Labor Day.
Yeah,
so.
we actually, the last couple of years, we've done games here on Labor Day. So we'll probably do the JV game on there because Mike is a friend of, like I said, Rich. We'll have an easy time getting a roster from him, for the JV game because he coaches both. So we'll probably do that. I talked to Bobby Mahalik today, sent him a message about that. So I'd like to do that game just to get us warmed up for the season.
Right.
On Friday.
Right.
Next Friday when West Scranton comes in.
So don't forget, catch Paul on the audiocast, SportsWire, Paul's Facebook, SportsWire's Facebook. They'll take you to the links every week. And again, on the YouTube channel for the Hazleton Area High School or the Hazleton Area School District. All season long, we'll probably wrap around the basketball.
Yeah, basketball. We're gonna actually look to do some more stuff with SportsWire. We did a lot last year with the playoffs, and unfortunately, we just don't have cameras that we could travel. We use the Huddle Cam, which is great. I mean, we just don't have the capability of traveling, so we have to do the audio cast. But I know the SportsWire guys they're talking about getting into some video, but that's a whole nother animal. You know what I mean?
In this day and age, it's just a good way to know that we can catch our hometown team.
Sure.
One way or the other. Paul Bo.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Next time, hopefully we get a little warmer here.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be a little snow. Hopefully, we can have you back once
anytime you want.
Season
right up the road.
You're freed up on a Monday, and
I'm always free.
You're not on that high hill of yours interviewing those upper scale athletes.
We just interviewed
small people down here.
We just interviewed Dominic DeLuca from Penn State tonight for our podcast from Game Time Athletics. So we had a nice interview with him. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. That's why I kept texting you. I'm running a little bit late because I told him I have a hard out at 8:15. I'm out of here. So
we had an agreement, folks.
Yeah. I told him I'll never not show up. So
Paul Bo, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Paul, I'm gonna take your mic. So
all right.
Give that back to Coach, and we will catch up with you down the road.
Sounds good.
Just about every week, but.
All
thanks
right.
again. Paul Bowie, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Always fun to sit down and take away from the game a little bit. Coach is ready to wring my neck because once we get a talker going, it's always good stuff. Quickly, before we get back to Coach and we head down the field as we continue on now, flush out last week and start to discuss Williamsport. I want to quickly remind you heard all my sponsor reads, with our season sponsor. Again, thanks to R.O. Marchetti and Son. Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House, our game week sponsor, Barbush Automotive and BLB Auto Sales for our player of the game. Again, latched on for the season. And of course, our special guest, Paul Bonomo, joining us, the voice of the school district YouTube sports Also, SportsWire, regional, local, just general hosting all over the place. Good guy to take time and come join us. Farrell's Funeral Home here in Hazleton. If you are interested, there's still plenty of time. There's 9 games left. There's a lot of spots we can still fill with your sponsorship and support this, our great school, one of our great sports teams. Always a good way to kick off the year, and you're looking for that little extra push. Feel free to give us a call at 570-778-5942 or contact us via PM, the local sports pod on Facebook. Sponsors always helping to pay the bills, and I figure it's kind of a wishy-wash situation or a wash-to-wash situation. A little dry this evening. I apologize. It's the cool air. Scott and I were talking, Coach and I were talking about that a little bit earlier. But please give us a call or contact us on Facebook. Sorry, Coach.
You're fine.
Old schoolmate, and once we get going, it gets a little crazy. But it's always fun. It's always fun. So, Coach, here we are. Like I said, fleshed out now. It was fleshed out days ago with you guys, but just want to make the point to our friends and pass it on to their friends, and that's the way we just keep going, that it's just getting started, much like you adjourned to the other day on your comments on your social media, or the football team's social media, and it's kind of been our motto from the start here. So as we get into total game week mode now out of the Heartland Conference, District 4, 6A, head west this week, Williamsport, non-conference.
Yep. So two long road trips, down in Nazareth. Now we got to make the trip out to Williamsport. Williamsport's always a tough team. Williamsport's always a team that, typically somewhere you see on your schedule, whether it be, now that they're in a different conference, if it's not then we do that sub-conference in the playoffs. So we could you could play Williamsport twice, because you could play them now and then get them again later on. So we know each other. We played each other many a times over the years. I played them as a player. It was always a team that we always played. They play every year. It was a tough playoff game last year that we played that Hazleton ended up losing, which was, I think it was 6-7 up until the final 2 minutes. And then, Williamsport ended up scoring and knocking Hazleton out of the playoffs last year. So it's a tough one. And Williamsport's been the same since I played. They always have athletes. They always have somebody who could fly around and, make plays on the field. And they always have burners that are somewhere that could fly. And, they got a bunch of guys that are that way. We were talking about, I heard you guys talking about Giovanni White, who's probably the best player that they have, runs the ball hard. We were talking about him in film tonight with our guys.
I did catch the end of that, yeah.
We cannot arm tackle him. He will run right through you. He is a hard runner. Nose down, it's going to take 3-4 guys to take him down. The quarterback's young. Quarterback's a sophomore, but the quarterback was the second leading rusher in their game last week. He's not afraid to take off and go. He's an athlete. He made some guys miss. He made some really nice plays. He threw some nice touchdown passes. It's another they got players. Don't know what his name is. Number 4 is their other wide receiver, because we didn't receive their roster yet. And
must be a thing with this roster stuff.
Yeah. But number 4, he had a bunch of big time catches in the game. He had an interception, could have had 2 more interceptions. Ball was a little underthrown, and he just almost got there. But they got some players. They got some guys that could play. Their offensive line is strong up front. It's a solid offensive line. We went over it with our guys. We have to improve each week. And I said to our guys tonight, we did a lot of stuff, and we talked about it last week. We did a lot of stuff in our scrimmage that we said we were right there. And I said to them tonight, guys, it didn't change. We went to Nazareth, and we are still right there. But we need to make that next step. the mistakes that we're correcting now when we go through weeks in practice and the stuff that we're correcting on the film, we need to correct those mistakes in order to take the next step in growth. We need to do that this week. If we don't, we are in for an absolute battle. But we got to take those steps forward, and we got to, correct the mistakes that we've been making.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to catch a lot of the highlights. I was able to catch them on the sports shows later in the evening on Friday. But a future for foe of yours, same division, conference foe. They beat Valley West 31-20.
Yeah.
But I believe that game, from what I had seen and what I had read, in the hours after, was a lot closer.
Yeah. So it definitely was. And I mean, Valley West has struggled for the last 2 years, but the Valley West is, good coaches that are really coaching them hard. And they looked a lot better this year. You could tell that coaching staff definitely has, really taken it to heart and really trying to get their guys going. And I think Valley West is, going to do a lot better than they have done in the last few years. And I don't think they're, one to kind of sit back on, because they look like a much improved team. And they held it right in there. A couple mistakes that kind of shot them in the foot, but they were neck and neck, going with Williamsport took the upper hand, but they never backed down.
Right.
And they kept coming to the final.
Caught the vibe in that film.
Yeah, the final ended up being 31-20 with Valley West driving down and almost scoring right at the end, to try to cut it even closer. But that was a well fought game. And let's be honest, it was everybody's week one last week.
Right.
There was mistakes, there was things, but your biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2. Now, that's what we got to see. We got to see, are guys going to take the stuff that we're trying to teach them as coaches? Are they going to learn from their mistake and move on? I mean, we got a lot of young kids that are playing. And I almost hate saying that, because it's almost like this diminishing to the seniors. Like, we're not just saying that we want to, we're a young team and we want to grow for next year.
No,
these seniors, this is it.
right.
This is their last year. Like, we want to go full steam ahead, and we need these guys to learn on the fly and pick it up for these seniors. Because I was once in that point.
Right.
I played in 2003 and 2004 when Hazleton was at its heyday. And when I was in 10th grade and 11th grade, we dominated. And then when I was a senior, it was, they got some young guys that are learning, they kind of got to learn. And I'm like, this is my senior year. I don't want to sacrifice that because these guys are learning. So we need everybody to kind of get up to speed with our seniors, and we need our senior leadership to lift us up and take us there.
Yeah, Coach, looking at the rosters, just doing a little comparison. I'm a big stats guy, as you know. It's a good number of sophomores on both rosters. I know we have a lot of kids that played as freshmen here last year. I don't exactly know. Paul Bowe would probably be able to give me those stats on Williamsport with his connections with Coach Rich. But just looking at both, anywhere from, I believe we have five seniors or 6 seniors?
Starters, yeah.
Comparison there is pretty rich. And then as you look down the roster, junior, it's a lot of similarities.
We have a very bright future. Our 9th grade team won tonight, beat a very good 9th grade Nazareth team here. So great win first win for our program. Was right here on the field for the 9th grade. Wow. And we watched it before we went in for film. It was amazing. And we got some great talented players on there. Where in years past, we were able to bring up a lot of 9th graders onto the high school team and get them playing. But our guys are so young.
Right.
We wanted to let our 9th grade players stay in 9th grade, play, develop. And
game
they really had a really nice win tonight. And it was huge for the Cougar program. And I want people to know, like, we're watching that and keeping up to speed with that.
Well, that's the way you got to do it. It starts even a little lower than that level. I call it the Cougar way.
Yeah.
One of the big things, and not to take away from anyone who preceded Coach Patron, but that was all the way down into the juniors. I mean, they learned the Cougar way. I mean, every coach has got their own style.
Yeah.
But there was the Cougar way by the time they got to this field, to ninth grade, to JV, to varsity. They knew the Cougar way.
That's the way they were doing it. Our 7th and 8th grade, right through the 9th grade team, right through the JV, they're running our plays, they're running our offense, they're running our defense to a more simplified level,
right.
Obviously. But then when they get up here to us, it's not,
it clicks. Hey, I did this before.
You got to think, we're not only are these kids young, these kids have a new coaching staff. They have a new playbook. It's a new scheme. It's a new offense. We're learning it. We're kind of learning, even us, like even with us calling the plays and seeing what's meshing together and what's going together. There's a lot. I mean, some of these programs, like at Nazareth, who's same coach for 12 years, running the same stuff that they've been running and able to do that, where all of those guys have learned that and done that. And then when they get there, that's how the game comes to you. When you know a play inside and out, and you've seen it defended a couple different ways, or you're on offense, or on defense, and you've seen it a couple different ways, stuff breaks down and stuff happens. And that's when you learn and how you're going to achieve that goal and go through that. But when you know that inside and out, and you've ran it in games and you've seen it in different situations, just like something like Freddie Corrado, we were talking about a quarterback, just how do you think he's going to be next year running this system and this scheme? Right. And he's going to know it. And I know on this one, the X wide receiver is going to do this, or guys always open on that one, or we get them on this one. Where this is in the game, it's Friday night was the first time running it in a live game situation. Right. So there's so much more that's to come with everything. And I know Friday night wasn't the greatest start. I joked with my wife after the game. I had a dream about a month and a half ago, and we were winning by 12 points. There's 2 minutes to go. I'm going over to Coach Deal, our defensive coordinator, and I'm like, we need to stop them. We need to stop them. And I remember I woke up, and I don't have dreams like that. My dreams are usually silly or something goofy. And I woke up and I said, I had a dream, and we were winning. We were beating Nazareth, and it was like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this.
I guess she probably punched you and told you to go back.
No, she said no. She said, maybe that's going to come true. Well, when we walked off the field Friday night and she locked eyes with me, I looked at her and I said, that wasn't my dream. But hey, you gotta take those lumps, and it's going to happen. And like I said before, and I mean, and Paul said the same thing. That guy has a very good shot to play quarterback on Sundays. And if he does, I'll feel a whole heck of a lot better. It's going to be a great story.
I'll have video proof of you saying it. So.
And it's be a great story when that guy's leading the team down in the NFL and scoring touchdowns. I'm going to say, oh, he made me look like a fool my first coaching game. Yeah. Yeah.
Future.
But the growth is coming. The things are coming. Trust the process. We're putting stuff into place here. We're building a program that we want to fill these stands again and get people here. And it starts with our lower levels, seeing the 9th grade out here, running our plays, winning a tough fought game and winning it at the end like they did tonight is just, it's a great thing to see. And it was a great win, and it was a win for the whole program.
Sure.
Because,
it is.
We lost our game. We lost our game. Our JVs lost their game, right. And then the 9th grade comes on the field here, and it's like, oh, how's Nazareth going to be? And they were tough. They came out, they were fighting them, and it was a good fight. And then they win, and that was a great win for our whole program. And now that gives us the momentum going forward. I was
just going to say,
and now here we are,
in the game week,
carrying us into Williamsport.
Yep. Coach, as we wind down, I know we're still, and we want to stress this and not look ahead, but we're still, a week out after this Friday. And then we'll be here, whether it's going to be warm, cold, no precipitation yet. Just do we use that as a drive to help the boys as well? It's tough to start a season, but to start a season on the road before school's in, which we all know now, that's where the high school season begins pretty much no matter where you are, even 2 weeks before last week's game. A lot of other states, it's been going on. But to start out on the road is tough, but it's a couple feet away to look forward to give you that drive to get through even if it's 1 week, in our case, it's 2, with Williamsport coming up this week. Yeah. But, I mean, what are you telling them? What are you saying to them?
Just
he's getting them ready.
be smart. It's still the summer. They're still off school. Make sure that we're not just being couch potatoes all day. We're in our weekly schedule now, just like we would be in school. So we're not practicing until later.
Right.
So they're not coming down here. They'll come down here and get a lift in. Make sure our guys are getting into the weight room and still lifting, getting a lift in, watching film. I stressed that tonight. We went over a couple things on just kind of how to learn how to watch film and watch your position. Like, that's stuff that I wasn't taught till I got to college.
One of the things I noticed too on their way out, taking their cell phones out, and I did hear you say this, note where you're going to be, note your position. And I watched just about each and every one of those boys pull out those cell phones, and I heard them on the way out, I'm going to be here. And, so, I mean, it's a good way to look forward.
Well, I mean, we tell them, like,
the
the coaches put the work in to put together a scouting report and see who we're playing. And I drew it all up on the board for them. And for them, I said, take your phones out, take pictures. Here's the numbers of your position. Learn your guy. Learn what this guy's doing. Learn what a tendency is, and see that. That's kind of what film's all about. And in this day and age, when I played, they used to roll in the TV on the cart with the VCR, and I guess I'll throw myself under the bus. I used to never tell Coach Patron this, but Coach Patron would wheel in that cart, and we were in the wrestling room.
Oh.
And the cart would come in with the VCR and the TV. They'd put in the tape from the game. They'd hit the lights. And then it was when I got to college that I realized film is really, really important.
It is.
I was one of the strongest guys on the team. It just it didn't matter what I watched. I could, when you get to college and everybody's as strong as you are, you better learn. You better learn some stuff. And everybody's in the weight room in this day and age. Everybody's strong. Everybody knows that. So you can't just have that advantage of being stronger, because there's probably going to be somebody lined up on the other side of the ball that's just as strong as you are, just as fast as you are, just as smart as you are. But you got to take these advantages and be in life and be prepared for stuff. This is no different than them taking a test in school. If you don't study and you are not prepared, you're going to bomb. It's the same thing on Friday night. You got to study your opponent. You got to learn what's going on. You got to know your playbook, and then you got to execute. We call it tactical execution. If you know your play, their tendencies, what you're doing, and then you just execute, and you execute tactically, you are going to have the advantage. Whether or not that player on the other side of the ball might be a better athlete than you, might be stronger, might be faster. But if you execute what you need to do at 100%, you will win almost every time. And that's what we're trying to teach our players. Take that approach in life. Take that approach on the football field. Take that approach every day when you wake up. And that's what we're trying to push in this program.
Well, you've reached the end zone again. The road to Williamsport began after last Friday night's game for this man to lead those Cougars out of that den, put them on the bus, send them up the highway. Another one of the longest road trips of the season besides last week. I want to take this time, as always, to thank Coach Sacco. His wit, his wisdom. He makes me want to run through the fence now, with especially that speech he just gave, for welcoming myself in, my producer Kelly letting us in pretty much all access to see what's going on, and being able to bring that to you as we do every week as well. Again, want to congratulate our Barbush Auto, BLB Auto Sales Player of the Game, Connor Bacon. Two blocked extra points this week. Coach mentioned there probably could have been 2 or 3 more. Kind of just played his guts out, much like this Cougar team did. Also want to thank our special guest, Paul Bonomo, from the School District YouTube broadcast, doing all home games this year. Also from SportsWire, covering all away games this year. and you can check Paul Bow out. Either find him on Facebook or SportsWire. They will lead you to those links that will get you to listen to when the Cougars are not home, especially up at Williamsport this week. Again, brought to you by the Funeral Service Incorporated, located here in Hazleton. I want to thank Randy, RL Marchetti, Plumbing and Heating, our in for the year sponsor, our year-long sponsor, our season sponsor, and of course our brand new game sponsor for this week, Alta Pizzeria and Pasta House. Again, check out their specials in their little video ad image, and give them a call here in Hazleton. I think Coach Sacco and I are ready for some good cavatelli.
Telling me.
All that good stuff I mentioned that's making me hungry. I want to remind you quickly, as Coach Sacco and I are actually getting goosebumps now because the wind hasn't blown the whole broadcast. Again, big guys. Next week's show, we will be with you as we are every week, live from the friendly confines of Harmon Guys Memorial Stadium. But we will come to you on Tuesday as the Labor Day holiday is this coming Monday, hopefully celebrating a victory over Williamsport. We will be with you next Tuesday night, September the 2nd, as we look forward to the home opener here in Harmon Guys Memorial Field against West Scranton. Of course, the usual suspects, myself, our producer Kelly. It'll be a skull week for my daughter Anna, which you didn't see, but she drug Coach all around and drug Paul Bow around. And poor Connor, I feel so bad for him because he was with her the longest. But it's my life, and I'm so happy to have her as a part of it too. We'll have a special guest. We'll have our player of the game. So much more. Again, thanks to Coach Sacco, the staff, the school district for allowing us this time. And to you out there, as I always say in my post, as we do on our broadcast, please share, please like, please follow, please comment. Tell your friends in the shares. That's what gets us more followers. We're climbing day by day. Anywhere, as I told Scott last week, anywhere from 5 to 7 followers a day. It builds throughout the week. It's a great way to support our school district, our athletics, our football program, your sons, your relatives, friends of those relatives and their friends, supporting their sons here each and every Friday and with us every Monday, except for next week. Again, we'll be on Tuesday, September 2nd, due to the Labor Day holiday. And as I always say, I'm going to sign off now, Mike Sosar, and it's a wrap. Let's go Cougars, beat Williamsport. We'll see you next week.